My name is Natasha Nsabimana. I am a Public Humanities Fellow at the Heyman Center at Columbia. I am in my last year of a doctoral program in the anthropology department at Columbia University. So I pitched a project to teach a class on social justice issues at Rikers Island to young women between the ages of 17 to 21. And basically the class looked at social justice issues such as racism, mass incarceration, sexual violence, class, and we tackled those themes through engaging with the writings of prominent African American artists, such as James Baldwin, Toni Morrison, Maya Angelou, Solange. The aim of the class was to not only discuss these issues, but also to give the students the chance to actually think on this and write their own take and critical reflections on these issues. To give you sort of a sense of what was going on in the classroom at Rikers, one theme was justice, for example, and we talked about justice here in the US and criminal justice reform, but I also linked it to my own research, and we discussed justice in the aftermath of the genocide in Rwanda, and had very interesting, nuanced conversations between the relationship of individual actions and larger historical, political, structural effects. So this moving between individual and societal levels of organizing. So in one class, for example, I think the theme of the class was a conversation on the book by Michelle Alexander, The New Jim Crow, which the main argument is basically the continuation of Jim Crow laws in today's American society, but in other forms. We veered towards thinking about that book and the main arguments and the relationship of that to how specific parts of New York are treated vis-a-vis other parts of New York. So the students had great examples on how in some neighborhoods, their neighborhood, the snow is not removed at the same consistent level as other parts of New York City, or the garbage is not collected in the same intensity and not in the same sort of at the same scale, as an example on how at a societal level some parts of the city are neglected. My own academic research focuses on the relationship between survivors and perpetrators in post-genocide Rwanda. But ultimately, I think for me, the interesting question in my research, but also in this project, is an engagement with the aftermath of violence, whether it's political violence like the genocide in Rwanda, or structural violence in terms of the issue of mass incarceration here in the US and its targeting of African American and Latino communities. You know, you hear about these things, prison industrial complex, school to prison pipeline, racism, police brutality, and you know they exist. And being a racialized subject in America, I of course also experience various levels of racism, but I knew of these structural levels at a theoretical, abstract level, and for me to actually look and see the devastating effects these questions I was thinking about have on specific lives, to me was the best learning experience I had in the city. This project was also developed in collaboration with the New York City Council for Humanities. Every year they support a group of graduate students from 5 different schools in the New York City area. And we had workshop at the council. They helped us sort of like understand how best to work our project. We met with experts who worked in our various areas of expertise, and they helped us think through how to develop our project. We had workshop with individuals who gave us sort of like access to information about how to get funding from other organizations in New York. This project has alerted me to ways of utilizing my skills as an educator outside of the university environment, and specifically in terms of justice-related issues, which are very dear to my heart. So I will definitely continue, perhaps not at Rikers per se, because I will be moving out of New York, but wherever I find myself, I think these twin related themes of justice and education are an important part of my life now.